What's up guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over Caustic. Now to be completely honest, I think Caustic is probably the weakest legend in the game as of now. But that doesn't mean however that he doesn't have any strong points or strong abilities. When in the right place and in the right location, Caustic can actually be S tier and can actually be one of the best legends in the game. That's why today I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks that are going to make you an even more efficient Caustic, and I'm going to teach you the type of playstyle you're going to need to make sure you get the most out of this legend. Alright guys, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Now first we're going to get into Caustic's passive ability, which is Nox Vision. This passive ability allows you to see people through smoke if they have inhaled your Nox gas. Now this is probably the worst passive ability in the game. Once they inhale your Nox gas, you'll be able to see them through your smoke, but once you get out of it, it pretty much goes away instantly. This means that there are minor times when it is going to come in handy, especially when you use your ult, but we'll talk about that later. But for the most part, you actually won't be using this, and I feel like Caustic could have a better ability which will fit more with his playstyle. The only time this probably could come in handy is when your Nox gas is actually in the same area as a Bangalore smoke. That means that you would be able to see them through their smoke, which would come in handy of course, but again, this can be moved out of the way easily. Your gas is not unavoidable in any way. It's actually very avoidable, and the range of most of your attacks are not really strong. So like I said, this is not really a good passive ability in my opinion. Hopefully he gets buffed in the future on this, but that's about all I have to say about this. Okay guys, now we're going to get into his tactical ability, which is the Nox Gas Trap. Now these traps aren't as useful as you might think, but they can come in handy if you know how to place them. One tip that I can give you with these traps is to place them somewhere where they can't be seen. A lot of people actually don't know, but shooting the base of a trap will actually destroy it and it'll dismantle instantly, which means that you won't have to run into the gas and you don't have to worry about it. This means that anybody that sees it and is decent or has decent knowledge about the game will know to get rid of it, and it's not really going to have an effect. Now in my personal opinion, the best place to place these traps is next to doors, behind counters, behind doors, and things of that nature in order for people to run into it without actually seeing it. This means that it'll set off and they'll take the damage before they can even react to it. And in my opinion, that's probably the best way to use these traps as intel. You want to make sure that whenever you push up on a team or whenever you're in close quarters, you leave a trap behind you, because the trap will give you an audible cue if somebody is affected by it. Or a team might try to get rid of it and shoot it out, and you'll be able to hear the gunshot behind you. These traps should be used in a way to alert you about your different angles and make sure you don't get pinched by two teams, which happens a lot, especially in Battle Royale games. Now we all know that Caustic is a defensive legend, which means that these traps are meant to keep people out. But some people don't know that you can actually block doors, and you might have seen this on Reddit. You can actually block doors with these traps, which means that if somebody's chasing you, you can close the door and place a Caustic trap in front of it. And this will give you the time to heal. Now, if the person is smart, they'll know that they can break down these doors, either with 2 melees or nades or whatever. But if they don't know, this might buy you just enough time to heal up and win the fight. Now, these are defensive traps, but that doesn't mean that you can't use them offensively. There's actually one good tip I know that can actually make these a really good offensive trap, but it's situational. So you're not always going to have a chance to use it, and you're going to have the drop on an enemy, since it's going to take some downtime for you to actually throw your trap. Now the tip I'm going to give you is shooting your trap right away after you throw it, to make sure that the enemy either doesn't come in or the enemy takes damage if they're in a tight area. Now this tip tends to work better whenever people are focusing on your team. If you're having a team fight inside a closed area and your teammates are getting shot, you might actually have enough time to throw this and shoot the trap to make sure that the gas spreads all over the team fight. Insane, Pat. Oh my god. Good more! Oh my god, this team dude.
Oh my god.
Got him? Got one?
Lit. Watch out. There you go.
Ooh, that's a new fucking Caustic trick I learned. It's lit, dude.
What is it?
I'm playing, right? And I was like, oh, I can just shoot them instantly to instantly start
Oh
that.
yeah. No shield.
Go.
Are y'all good?
God, bro.
Homework.
I have no heals. Bro. Down them? Nice. One more right here. Oh, wait, what?
You know, bro. Unfortunately, though, the Noxic gas can actually affect your teammates' movement. So make sure that you don't just throw it wherever, and make sure you time it right and aim it right. That way it only affects the other team as much as possible. Now you can have up to 6 traps on the map, but you can only carry 3 at a time. So after you place your 3, you're going to have to wait a while before you get the 3 again. This means that the cooldown isn't too much, which also means that you can just throw them whenever. Just if you're not running into somebody or if you're not fighting anybody, you can still throw them down just to make sure you cover your back. And don't be afraid to like use it, because I mean the cooldown isn't too bad as it is. And you'll always have 3 on you most of the time if you don't spam it too much. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that the gas does not actually do a lot of damage. It does like 8 damage, 7 damage here and there. So it's not really meant to hurt people. It's kind of meant to keep people out. Most people will not want to run into gas. At least most people. There will be some people that are too aggressive and they know that you're weak and they're going to chase you into your gas and things like that. But most smart people will not do it. So just keep that in mind. It's not meant for killing. It's meant for diversion. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't actually use it for killing. If you down someone, you can actually throw a trap next to them. That way you won't have to waste bullets on their body and you can go help your team shoot the people that are actually still up. Okay, and now we're going to get into his ultimate, which is Caustic Gas Grenade. Now, this ultimate is pretty much a big grenade that spreads out the gas in a larger area than your traps. But the sad thing about this is that it does absolutely no more damage than your traps. They're exactly the same. The gas is exactly the same, which means that there's not much difference except for the area of effect, which is a little bit larger. And to be completely honest, this can actually interfere with your teammates, as it will affect their movement in the long run. So just make sure where you throw it. And in my opinion, the best thing that I learned while playing Caustic is that the best place to throw this gas grenade is on top of someone who you downed to avoid them from getting healed. You got it down for sure?
Yeah. They left the back.
Down one more.
Down to 7.
I'm ulting him.
See you, bro.
Reloading.
No. Oh my god, you died too.
This can also be good if you know that 1 or 2 of the enemies are one shot. Sometimes you're going to get into a fight where you leave people about to go down, but you just can't finish them off. And this is exactly where that gas grenade is going to come in handy. Another good thing about the grenade is that against unveteran players or people that are genuinely new to the game, they tend to panic when in the gas, which means that their thinking and their movement is not going to be as precise as they normally would. This gives you the chance to take advantage of their panic state and take them down.
Isn't here. That was a mistake. No, they threw a...
Placing gas trap. Placing gas trap.
I dropped an ult on you guys.
Recharging shields.
On top of it?
Yeah.
Breathe it in.
Another tip I can give you is that you can also use this on choke points to keep teammates from pushing you. The last thing an enemy team wants to do is run through a smoke. Whenever you're running through smoke, you can't tell what's in front of you. You can't tell if there's 3 people lined up ready to shoot you the second you get out. So this is a really unsafe thing to do, and some teams will do it, and sometimes that's their only choice. If the zone's coming up behind them, they're going to have to run through it, and this puts you at a big advantage. Now, the last tip, and probably my favorite tip that I want to give you, is to use it just like a Bangalore smoke. Whether it does damage or not, at the end of the day, Caustic's gas grenade is still a smoke grenade. It'll still obscure vision. Now, I know most people are going to tell you to use this offensively, to throw it on an enemy team, or to throw it on somebody who's hurt. But to be completely honest, after almost 4 or 5 days of playing non-stop Caustic, I tended to use this on myself. Now, if I got hurt, or I knew I was against more than just 1 or 2 people, then I tended to smoke myself in order to escape. Now, Bangalore smokes are of course better because she has easier access to them since it's just a tactical and the cooldown isn't as much. But unlike Bangalore smokes, most people won't push through your Caustic smokes. Like I said, most people. Some people will. But most people will not run through your Caustic smokes, and this might give you just enough time to heal or actually get away from the fight if you don't think you're going to win it. And yeah, guys, that's about it. That's my Caustic guide. I hope y'all enjoyed something. I hope y'all got something out of it. If you liked the guide, be sure to drop a like and a sub at the bottom so you won't miss any of my future Apex videos and guides. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys.
Oh, there it is. Straight up.
Oh, I don't want to Oh my god, I'm lagging.
No one down.
Got-
Bro,
oh, I
this
thought I
game
hit
is
that.
so dumb.
What?
I hate this game. How is it over? How is it? Dude, look at the stream. We beat him. We beat Shroud. That was the dumbest game I've ever played. How did that end already?
We won that. I don't know how we won that.
8 kills? What? Who did we fight?
What'd you get 8 kills?